Today I'm going to show you how to change the oil, the engine oil, and the rear drive oil on the Honda Silverwing. If you look at the right side of the engine, you'll find a dipstick here, and it's I really hate the dipstick style of checking oil, but Honda still uses that in 2003. Let's slide this underneath. I'm going to start the bike for a few minutes and just let it warm up. You should do it for about 5 minutes or so. All right, 5 minutes has passed. The bike is already up to the operating temperature, and that's more than enough for changing the oil. So underneath here, you have the strainer, and then over here, right there, that's the oil filter. All right, let's get the strainer off first. Counterclockwise, there we go. There we go. So if you notice, there's a spring in there. Take note how it comes out. The oil is actually pretty clean, but we're going to change it anyway. The manual calls for 1030, and the rear drive oil is also 1030. It's the same engine oil. Some people put gear oil in the rear, so that's the strainer. Time to remove the oil filter. You're going to need a special wrench. It's one of these open ones. And then a medium socket. Just kind of rotate it. Move your oil pan underneath. It was pretty much just hand tight, which is what you want in an oil filter. And let that drain for a while. While it's draining, I like to remove this top cap, the oil filler. Looks pretty clean, but I'm going to blow some air through it just to kind of clean all the debris from it. What I usually do is just take some compressed air. You know, strainer, all of this kind of comes out like this. I'm going to clean this. That's the old filter. You want to look around, see if there's any debris on it, but everything about it looks pretty clean. This filter was recently changed, it looks like. And here is the new filter. If you look online, you'll find equivalent parts like Purelator, K&N. I usually use those. I'm actually surprised it's this easy to remove the filter on this. A lot of scooters just have the strainer. Just gotta fit it in. Once you start one of the threads, it'll be held up. Just give it like a little bit of a tight. You don't have to go crazy with these bolts. That's the filler. We'll put a funnel in here and fill it with 3 quarts of oil, and that should be plenty. Remember, check your manual for the correct oil. You know, I believe the manual calls for 1030 engine oil. Some people put 1040, some people put whatever. To me, it's just oil. I know there's a lot of debate about oil, but I think the more important thing is just to change the oil often. There's the funnel, and now let's put in the oil. So at this point, we've added oil, but I'm not really sure if it's up to the mark. Now it depends where some makers, you have to thread the dipstick all the way in. Hondas, generally, you don't have to thread it. You just put it on the top like that, pull it out, and see where it is. Right now, it's like way over the top. Usually what that means is that I haven't started the bike yet, so the oil has to kind of flow down. So I'm going to start the bike just for a few seconds. Usually it'll get me like an oil level light, and then it'll disappear. Nope. Yeah, I have an engine disappeared. The engine light came on and disappeared. So I'm going to let it run for a few seconds. Time to recheck. Pull out the dipstick again. So if you notice, there's 2 marks on there. You want it to be in the upper mark, but don't screw it in. There we go. Let me check it again. Yep, we're perfect. Sometimes you get a bad reading just by moving the dipstick, but it is right at the upper. Kind of stuck here. The cops won't bother me.